Hi, everybody. I don't know. I mean, I've given you really short notice again. Sorry, but it's a little difficult when you have to decide, figure out if you're going to be able to sit up or you're not going to be able to sit up without falling over, kind of thing. So I did my dishes this morning, which is a big yay. And then I have cleared some space on my desk. So I had to go to the doctor's the other day, and I stopped in at Michael's because it's close. And I bought myself this. I should put my glasses on here. It's got, how many are in here is what I'm trying to figure out. Holds 4-inch by 6-inch photos. Okay, so there's 16 photo cases in here, and I don't want them for photo cases. I want them for, things like my needles and thread, so they know where they are. I finally managed to get some Tim Holtz peoples. And so I separated the Tim Holtz peoples into big and small, so that, and then I'm going to put labels on them after. I haven't done that yet. I have a bunch more stuff to go into them that I had shown you, I think the last time I was on, things that I had been doing while sitting on the couch and cutting things out. The Alice in Wonderland, the candy, all these different little images that I've cut out, and tickets that I've made, little stamp things I've made, and flowers, and all sorts of different things. So whatever's in these little bags is going to end up in one of those little cases, so that I don't have all these little bags sitting all over the place in my house. I have tons of these bags from when I had my card business up and running full time. And so that's good. Anyway, I have two. This was a card exchange, which I need to grab my phone because I do have to take a picture of this to load onto the site. Now, the person who sent it was Lisa Roy. Oh, yes, I got this little bit. Oh, that's the little bag. Something came in. And here is the card that she made. And this is only for Canadian crafters. What the heck was the name? The name is on her little thing here, so I have to pull it out because it was the first time I've done this. It was Canadian's Awesomest Card Swap. And I was very, very sick when this took place, but I did swap with one person. And the mistake I made, and I now know, is because she folded up the envelope that goes to the card. And what I did when I sent her the card that I made her, I used the envelope to send it in. And after I got hers, I thought, oh, you idiot. So hopefully she has an envelope that will fit it, because it's not much bigger than this one. So hopefully. And then this one will get put into one of these plastic sleeves and into my card bin over there, because I don't know if I can make this go up high enough for you to see that, but I will try. And yeah, see all those containers right over there? Those, every one of them used to be filled with cards because I had a card business, and I had them in, birthday, Christmas, anniversaries, they were all in separate things. Plus I had one of the bins was designated for the troops. So I always made cards to send to the troops. And when you do that, like Canadians, they do have rules. There can be nothing sparkly on the card, no like bling like this. They cannot put any glitter, nothing like that, nothing sparkly at all. And but I had lots of different types of cards that I could send strictly to military families. And if they were on board a ship, you could add, you know, a few little things. Mind you, I managed to do it pretty well without putting stuff on it, because I mean, hell, my son was in the Navy, so I was always sending them to ships to start with. He's not in the Navy anymore, he's in the Air Force. But I always got a really nice letter back from the captain of the ship, and I framed them. So that was a lot of fun. You know, getting those was fun. This was a on my channel, we did a coin swap. And this is the one, oh, I'll have to, just let me grab that. It's right behind me. I don't think I have shown Santa's yet, but it is here. This out here. This is the one that I received from Santa Montana, and this was part of the coin swap that we did. Unfortunately, with me being so sick, there wasn't many people that took part in it. And this one came from Colette Corbeil, and I really like this. I really like how she did this with the little flower on it, and it can, you know, all be flipped up. And she's got this little gold, like, what do you call them? Little gold stamen type thing behind it, but it's fabric, and it's so cute. And she did it on a cookie box, looks like, which is cool, because that's, you know, part of doing these things. Is I'm sorry for Fred. I mean, he has been such a sweetie, looking after me the whole time, making sure I stayed laying down. But, you know, now he's, you know, doing dishes. Today he was laying on the corner of the kitchen floor like, what do you think you're doing up? Because he thinks I should just lay down and let him cuddle me now, from now until the rest of my life. So Colette sent me a nice little note with hers, and she has gotten the swaps out, and she sent me these beautiful cutouts that she's done. Looks like on a cutting machine or a Big Shot or something, that she's cut out dies. They're really pretty. I really like them. So thank you for that, Colette. And they will get used in something or other here. Now, okay, Fred, now you're just getting into stuff, aren't you? Yeah, you're trying to take things off the desk. That's not good. So what I thought I would do, I mean, I've got 4 or 5 of these that I started the last time that we were on. And, oh, how did I get 2 this size? I do. Oh, no, that's the inside. Silly girl. I didn't do anything else to them after I had covered them and left the video. But while I was sitting on the couch, I did cut out and make signatures. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. But, you know, I didn't put all sorts of different colors of paper in it. Just because I had to do stuff while I was, you know, sitting with my head, so that it wouldn't spin me around the room. So, I mean, they do fit in. And here, I'll take this up for a sec. And there's like 2 little signatures to go in this one. So, you know, there's 10 or 15 papers in each signature. Whoops. And then I just cut this piece out before I came on, just so that I could. Hi, Brittany. Nice to see you. Sorry for the short notice, but with this positional vertigo. I got to go when I can go. I have to go on. So it's the only way I'm getting anything done around here. So I am going to, this is the opposite side of the paper that I've used as the cover. So I'm going to glue that in to here and have that be the inside. And where is all my glue now? I have not been at my desk for so long. It's just like, what did, oh, here's one right in front of me. Good enough. There. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get this glued down, let it dry. And then I did see I had picked up some needles, but they were in the jewelry section, and not sure if they'll work for this. And I don't have an awl, but I did come up with a solution to that one time. Yeah, I like the tiny journals too. I built a dollhouse years ago, so I used to make a lot of tiny stuff. And because I knew I was having a granddaughter, even though nobody believed me that she was a girl, she was. And so I used to build stuff, and I used to have a cat that looked just like Fred, only his name was Jocko. And I had a cat. Fred, leave the marbles alone, buddy. I know you're a boy, but another cat that looked just like Nico, who's black and white, and his name was Dallas. And they were the two that were around at that time. They lived to be 19 years old, those two guys, and they were the best therapy cats I had. Come on, slide back this way. Come on. There. Hold this side down for a sec. Sorry. Okay, so that's going to have a little, I'm just going to let it dry and we'll twist it up here and get that fold in there. And then just kind of leave them alone for a little bit. So the fix that I found, where the heck is it now? You know what? Just because I said that to everybody, I'm not going to be able to find it. But look up here. Nope, you still. Okay, here comes the other one, Brittany. He's coming to take a look to see what's going on. There he is coming in now. Yeah, he's looking at something. That's Nico. Now I'll get back to where my book is and stuff and stop you from being dizzy. There. See if I can't get Nico and Fred both out of the way. Anyway, this became my solution to not having an awl. Sorry, you can't see that. I couldn't find anything else in the house. Going the wrong way again. That would fit through or punch through something like that. And then I went through here and I thought, oh, that'll work. And so that's what I have been doing, is using, oh boy, I have this much space right now. Yeah, a compass is a great idea. I mean, you know, I was looking on Amazon last night at the prices. I mean, I can probably even go to a secondhand shop and get an awl, but I thought, you know, and they're all different sizes, but I also have some, a set of tools that are all, you know, they're all pointy tools. So there's like sets of them, and there's one there that would work. it's quite long and so it's very sharp. Whoops. So I would imagine that that would work pretty good. I mean, if you needed to go through a lot. I mean, the ones that I've got here aren't a lot. And this would leave a smaller hole, I would imagine, than what this thing does. But considering that, no, it's not for you to play with, but considering the fact that this is my very first, sorry, Brittany, I'm trying to get this back on my table. Away from, it's hard to get away from the cat when you've got two cats sitting on each side of you and you can't see what I'm doing. There, try that way. And I've got a bunch of little butterflies up here that I've cut out and some, whoops, shouldn't put that towards your eye. No, that butterfly's not for you. No, another little butterfly here. You know, like I thought, well, you know, what can I do just sitting at the table? You know, there's not many things I can do. And so I sat with my Big Shot one day and punched things out. And I punched out some dream catchers. So there's two that they look the same on that side, but if you turn it over, it's green. And then I punched out borders and different tags and, you know, things like that. Because I couldn't just sit there. It's just not me. You know, like I go stir crazy and I couldn't get up to stand long enough to do my dishes. So it was like I'd do a few of them and then I'd have to get myself back down because I was going to fall down if I didn't. And then every time I got up, I'd do another dish or whatever. But it was crazy. It still is. Like, it still hits me and I have to be careful. But this morning, I'm having not too bad a day. And I thought, okay, this is going to happen. Now, what'd you guys do with my pan? I think we took it to the table, didn't we? Yes, we did. We took my pen to the table. So I want to put the two signatures in. One right about there. The other one right about there. And there. Do that this way. Now I'm going to take you. I want to put a little mark here, a little mark there. There. So now I can undo this. Hello, who is this, April? How are you? Thank you, April. That would be great if everyone hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. I know I came in with no warning, no nothing, just I'm going live now. Yeah, not just one. There's another one right here too on this side. See the blackness right there? Just by this. He's right there. So I have a little bit of room to work in. So I am going to punch the holes in this. I should have my old. There's this here. No, watch it. That will not be good for your nose. You should have this here to do this with. Just an old phone book. My girlfriend lives out in Sydney, BC, and they have nice small phone books. So this one's kind of it's perfect for this because it's such a little journal. So just poke it both ways. Then open up. Then I'll go in and I will punch the holes in here. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this journal. It's just, I haven't made a journal before, and I want to make a journal. I even want to make a bigger journal. So these are kind of small journals because I'm good with small stuff. And I thought, well, I'll do a couple of little journals and practice. And then I will go on to the others because I want to do an Alice in Wonderland journal. And I have a whole ton of the little golden books, but I am hoping to have an auction once I can get rid of this horrible vertigo stuff. Once I get rid of that, then, you know, I'll be able to do stuff for longer. And find you. Oh, I used to be a scrapbook teacher. I taught for a few years. I taught cards at the same place, how to make greeting cards and whatnot, the scrapbook way. And before I did that, for many, many years, I was an apartment manager. And there were times I managed up to 10 buildings at a time. And that was definitely a trick. But I liked it. It was busy and always kept me busy. Never had time to think about anything. But on days off, which were very few and far between, I had a scrapbook room all set up in my apartment, where everything was all neat and tidy, not like it is in this one, let me tell you, because my scrap area takes up the whole wall of my dining room, which is that way. That way. No, see, my finger's going the wrong way. It's that way. And then all of this is a whole wall of my living room. So the only thing in this living room that makes it look like a living room is a coffee table and a couch. That's it. Everything else has been designated to the bedroom. I have my TV up on my dining room table, which is just a little 32 by 32 inch table because there's only me. But and then I used my TV stand because it had multiple shelves. I used it to where did I put that? I used it to stack things on. And right now I've been collecting things to do a scrapbook, or not a scrapbook, that's not what I want. And neither are those. To do an auction, and that's kind of all over the place in here too right at the moment. So excuse me for a sec, I just grab a needle. Not right size needles in that one. Those are jewelry needles. I had forgotten. My old. I've had this since I was a kid, so it's pretty old. Now, what do I want here? Don't want anything. I used to have a lot of like embroidery needles, which I still have, which is what I'm finding. But that's not what I want right now. I want a kind of a dull-ended. I don't want to hurt myself. No, then they'll put me in a home because they think I can't do anything. Oh, I forget what this came off of. Someone gave this to me when I was young. It's I don't know if you can see it down there or not. Let's see if I can get it to focus. It's a little Playboy bunny, and some guy gave it to me when I was young. Young, skinny, long hair. They all do things like that. Those are sewing machine needles, so I don't want those. Are these two? Come on, you guys, move. No, okay, we'll go back here, get one that's a bit sharper, maybe. Maybe some. So it doesn't look like any of these have a head big enough to put. Maybe that one. That might. Soft threading. You know, these look more like. I want something to put some. Embroidery thread through because I don't want to use that. So just let me grab some embroidery thread. Where are you, embroidery? Okay. Well, that's silly. I know I have it, and I'm not finding it. It should be right here someplace. Sorry guys, I'll be right back. I'm just not finding it here. Should be right. Should have been right on the other one that I was looking at. Right on the bookshelf, but it's not there. Oh, I'll be jiggered. I sat looking at the stuff the other day for I don't know how long, thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to pick one of those colors, and now they're not there. Oh, there they are. I just had to sit down. I may even find the type of needle in here that I want. Because this was a lot of embroidery stuff that I used to do so much petty point and cross stitch. I had every single color. I had drawers of it. Now, let's see. I want to take these out for a second. Aha, there's the needle. that I needed. Come on, back out. That one's finished to be framed. This one's not even finished. I mean, I've had them for so long, but so many things have happened in my life since I was doing this that I guess I kind of just sort of lost touch with it, and now my eyesight's not as good as it used to be. Oh, there's a better needle. So I'll put these into my needle storage. And this is another one that I was doing. Oh, how did you get back in here, Donald Trump? I don't know if any of you guys, I know there's only a couple of you in here. Did you leave, Brittany? If any of you have seen this Donald Trump character popping up on everybody's YouTube channels, but he seems to pop up an awful lot. And a lot of people are complaining about him. So now with this little book, I kind of want like a nice cream color, I think. Yeah, that'll be nice. Maybe the flowers are pink, but no, I think I like this one. Put that one in. Put this stuff away. Okay, sorry about being so disorganized there, guys. Oh, look at this. This is all my embroidery needles in here. So now I found some of them, the bigger heads. Good. And I'll put that in there. So, and these can go back over here. What did I do? Put the thread away? Don't tell me I did that. I did. How could you be so silly, girl? I had to, because I don't see it here anymore. Oh my God. I did. Put it back in the box. Or the bag. How silly. Okay. Now this is where I'm going to have the issue, I think, is because these guys are going to decide that, hey, this looks cool to play with. 2, 3. I'm going to do just over 3 on this. On my scissors around my cat. And with that eyesight comes the need for it's hard to, you think you got everything right there that you need, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh darn, I forgot to get this and I forgot to get that. And so with no eyesight and I have no, how is my picture, who is this? Is it okay? Because at the moment I have no lights on. I just realized it. That I didn't turn, oh, darn, that I didn't turn anything on. It's okay? Good. I can always open my curtains, I guess. Haven't even done that today yet. It was more intent on, okay, I can stand up. I've got to get those dishes done. I can't stand it anymore. I mean, there's not that many, but I mean, when you feed the cats every day, twice a day, then, you're going through some dishes. And I just didn't want to have them keep piling up on me like they were, and having to only do a couple here and a couple there. Very frustrating. There, I'll open my curtains. Maybe that brought in some more light. Oh, that's what the other one went. It fell on the floor. So I wasn't silly and put it back in. Okay. I've seen this done so many different ways. I don't know which way I want to do it. I've seen it where they go through the middle first. And then up to the top. And one of these on it. Just to hold it still. And then come back through here. All right. I'm sorry. I'm taking this right up to me and forgetting that I need to be right up to you. Come on, get through there. Okay, you're not working right. What's going on here? Oh, you're going through the wrong thing. Oh, my holes are different. Maybe that was for the other one. I'll bet you it was. Yeah. Yeah, those holes match up with that one. So, okay. Try this again. This is my very first journal notebook, so bear with me while I screw up royally. Okay. Then we're going to come back through here. And where are you? Through here. No, it's still not right. Better than the last one. But okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then you go back down. No, you go down through this one, I believe. And then get everything straight. If we can do this. Yeah, sure we can do it. I'm going to put another one of these just on this side just to hold it still. It keeps shifting on me. And then I have to come back up. Have you done one of these? Who is this? Have you made one yet? Oh, there I go off the table again. But you have a nice view of the cat. I'm trying to get in here, but he just isn't going to move. Okay. And then I want to go back through this one here. Okay. So yeah, see that? That is kind of wonky, but I don't want to pull it down. So I'll do it this way. Tie it. Yeah, see, that's gone down to the bottom too far. Don't know how, but yeah, it really. Oh well, like I said, my first one, live and learn, and I will learn from this one what I'm doing wrong, I hope. And, it's smaller. I know that, that's sad. Yeah, I had one, my black and white one that lived for 19 years. He died of cancer. And it was like the vet knew, but she didn't tell me. Because, I'd had it. I spent thousands of dollars on him, taking him to the vets. And, she never once said that he had cancer until his last visit, where she said, you have to put him down. Like he had lost over half of his body weight. He was a 30-pound cat. But it wasn't from overfeeding or anything like that. He was just one of those cats that he was stocky and sturdy, and he just, he was muscle is what he was. He was just pure muscle. And yeah, that looks right now. Okay. You here. And you here. But yeah, it's hard. Yeah, real hard. When she told me that day, because I was not expecting it, like I had just said to her, like he has been, he's been refusing to eat. And the last 2 weeks of his life, the only thing, I had stopped one night on my way home from work and just picked up fish and chips because I didn't feel like cooking when I got home. And okay, I did that wrong, didn't I? No. And then he really wanted the fish and chips. And I thought, oh, this is great. He's gonna eat. So I fed him the fish, and it was halibut. And every night after work, I stopped at the same place and picked him up some halibut to get him so that he would eat. And he ate it. That was, I guess, because it was soft and he didn't have to crunch on it or anything. So that's what he ate for the last couple of weeks of his life, was just halibut. Took all the batter off of it and just fed him that, and he was happy as heck. So, oh, why does this stupid thing keep? But so he ate well for the last few weeks of his life anyway, so that made me happy. So I was so sad. I'd had him since he was 4 weeks old. My daughter had saved him. She went to a party, and the party turned out to be at a crack house, and she saw somebody slam his tail in a doorway. So she picked him up and put him in her pocket. Hi, Sandra. And she brought him home, and she was going to keep him, but she knew I was looking for a cat, and she knew she wouldn't look after him as well as I would. So when he was 4 weeks old, she brought him to me, and I went out immediately and bought all the supplies I needed to feed him, with baby bottles and all that kind of stuff. And, the little kitty ones, I went to the vet and got them and fed him with those. And I don't know, I guess he was so loved by my sons and myself. And he ended up being called Dallas because as we were leaving the house to go get stuff for him, we were still trying to think of a name for him. And my son was carrying him, and I looked over at my son and I said, oh, look, he matches your jacket. And he was wearing a Dallas Cowboys jacket. And So he ended up being called Dallas because my son's, that's a good name for him. I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good name. So we called him Dallas. And a couple weeks, well, maybe a couple weeks to a month later, we got another cat. He was orange, just like Fred. And I was a seamstress at the time, and Dallas used to play games when I was sewing too long and stuff. He got up in the window and I had Venetian blinds, and he'd pull the Venetian blinds down and stick his head through and look at me like, are we going to play yet? And he'd do all these stupid little things to get my attention. So anyway, there's our first little book. It's done. It's not perfect, but it's my very first one that I've ever tried to put together. So, you know, and the other thing with Dallas, because he was so young when I got him and had to be bottle fed, it was like every morning at 10:30, I'd pick him up and I'd kind of lay him in the crook of my arm like a baby, and I'd bottle feed him. And as the years went by, at 10:30 every morning, Dallas wanted to be picked up and rocked every morning at 10:30. That was his time. Yeah, that's a problem with cats, boy. You start something with them, it doesn't stop. You just have to continue to do it because it's now to them a tradition, right? This is my time. Sunday, because that's the day she found us. Aww, isn't that cool? Aww. Yeah, we had a lab too. She was black and she had brown eyebrows, and what else was brown on her? There was brown in her face and on her paws and stuff. And my sons couldn't think of a name, and I said, oh, I got the perfect name for her. And they went, what's that? And I said, we're going to call her DOG. And they went, where the hell did you get a name like that? And I said, how do you spell dog? And they went, DOG. And I went, there you go. That's how I got her name. Hi, Chris. Kristen? Chris. Oh, is short for Kristen. Okay. Yeah, so that's how she got named. And then every time we'd have to take her to the vet would, call, my son took her once, and they said to my son, you can bring dog in now. He said, that's not her name. And they said, well, that's what we've got written down here, is the dog's name is Dog. And he said, no, her name is Diogi. And the vet said, oh, now that's cool. He said, I like that name. I had more of these little things here. I don't know. I have one that's it's a single one, just made out of, and this is not long enough, darn it. Okay, what have I got in my scrapbook here? Well, let's do this on the inside, maybe, because it's still got some red. Yeah, so my son was always, can't we just change your name? And I said, no, she won't know who you're calling if you change your name now. She knows her name. She's smart, and she was a really, really smart dog. She just, the very first time when she was 8 weeks old that I took her out for a walk, and my husband and I walked down to the door, and my lab would babysit my granddaughter, and so did my cat, Dallas. The cat would lay up on the bed beside where the stroller was and watch her, and the cat would sleep as long as she slept. And as soon as she woke up, the cat would come running out into the front room or the kitchen, wherever I was, and start meowing at me. And the first time he did it, I was like, what the hell's the matter with you? But he'd meow at me and then he'd run back to the bedroom. So he kept making me think that something was really wrong. So I'd go into the bedroom, and my granddaughter's name is Shania, and she'd be laying in her stroller and she'd just be cooing away, but she was making noise. So he was coming out to let me know that she was awake now. So that was good. And, I'd just let her, coo and stuff until she got to the point where, yeah, she wanted up. But she liked looking at him on the bed. She would kind of talk to him. And then he'd get to the point where, you got to come and get this kid now. So I'd go in there and I'd pick her up and I'd bring her out to where I was and play with her and, whatnot. And one time I went back into the bedroom to get something of hers that I'd forgotten in there. And the cat was in the stroller. So all he was doing was waiting for the baby to wake up so that he could get into a nice warm stroller and have a nap, even though he'd been watching her from the bed and napping with her. But yeah. And when she went home, as soon as she was gone, he was in the stroller in the hallway or wherever he put it. He would get in the stroller thinking, okay, that kid's not taking my life. This thing was made for me. I mean, mind you, when he was a baby and Jocko was a baby, when I had them fixed, Shania hadn't been born yet, but I had a rocking cradle. And that's where the two of them recuperated from being fixed, was in the rocking cradle. That's where they stayed. They didn't get out of it, unless somebody helped them down. And, everybody thinks animals are stupid, but boy, they got you trained. Let me tell you, they can train you faster than you can train them. Aw, she looked after the cat's babies. Aw, that's nice. When Diogi had puppies, the only she would let my sons in the bedroom because she had the babies in their room, which I had told them, hi, Aunt Beck. I had told them that that's what she was going to do because she always slept with my son. And I said, she's going to have her babies in here. And so I had it already for her. We had put down blankets and shower curtains and things like that for her if she went into labor in the middle of the night or anything, which of course she did. My son came screaming into my room, Mom, something's wrong with Diogi. She's panting really weird. And I was like, oh, she's probably having the puppies. And so I went in there and I was talking to her and, she just keeping her calm and everything. And, and then the first puppy came and she had 5 puppies and then she just totally settled down. So we thought that was it. We thought there was no more puppies. And everybody went to bed. And we woke up in the morning to 5 more puppies. So she had 10. Yeah. Oh, I know. My cats are like that. If I put my feet up on the coffee table and just to stretch my legs or whatever, one of them will get on my legs and go to sleep. And the other one will lay at the other end of the couch. And it's gotten to the point now where they're kind of fighting for the position of who gets to be on my legs. And it's very uncomfortable because, Nico will be there. Fred will jump up. And Fred wants to be on my legs. So he'll do nothing but give Nico a bad time. He's a very jealous little flirt. He'll give Nico a very, very bad time until Nico moves. And as soon as Nico moves, he's up on my lap. And so Nico just, sort of shakes his head and goes to bed. So he goes and gets into the big soft bed and curls up and goes to sleep. He not stupid. Okay, hopefully that's dry enough that I can cut this now. Oh, wrong scissors. Where's the orange ones? Have you got Mommy's orange scissors? No. What did we do with them? We hid them from ourselves somehow. Anyway, yeah, there they are. Glad you're in here now, I'm back, because we had Donald Trump again in here. And I'm not even an American. I live in Canada. I'm in Victoria, BC. So what does Donald Trump want with me? Come on, cut through there. Yeah, I know he's a troll. I've had him here before. So I just removed him. It's like, I think the second time I've had to remove him now. Because I think it was Colette was in and she couldn't figure out how to do it. So I said, just a second, I'll get there. This is very hard to do with you sitting here, you know, because you're hiding everything on me that I need. Can I put you down? You can go. There you go. You can go lay down with Fred. Yeah, no kidding, I'm back. He sure is. I mean, I don't like getting into politics, but that was a big mistake down there. I'm sure that a lot of people regret with the things that man has done. Just, he's impossible. I know some people still like him, but I don't get how, you know, he's been so cruel to so many and making people in the government work for no money. Like, how does he get away with that? That just blows my mind. Has that even ended yet? I haven't heard recently about that one. Yeah. Okay. What did I do with my thingamabob? Where did I put it? There it is. Hiding under paper. Okay. Like I said, I don't have any clue what's going to happen with these little books. Oh, that one came through a bit too much. But I've never made a journal before, and I so want to make one. So this is me practicing making them before I do my Alice in Wonderland. I'm just going to do a couple of these till I can get everything down to the right way of doing things. And so they're just basically my practice journals. That's all they are. I'll do something with them, but I just don't know what. Haven't figured that part out yet. Okay, let's see if my eyesight's good enough to do this the way I used to. Otherwise, we bring out the other handy dandy little tool that we've got. Oh, look at that, I got it. Okay, so we got 1, 2, J. Fabric scissors back. There. Oh no, there was somebody on a channel on, what was I watching? I think it was Pink Poodle I was watching yesterday when I couldn't move my head. And a woman was talking about how their dog kept eating socks. And she was really, in the group, she was quite upset because the dog was throwing up and she wasn't sure why. But she thought perhaps it had been because it ate another sock. And like everybody's like, it ate a sock. I mean, you should be taking that dog to the vet. He shouldn't be just sitting. She's like, well, no, I want him to throw up. And I'm like, why? Why do you want him to throw up? Like he's sick. He needs to see a vet. He may need surgery for this. This is crazy. And everybody was, kind of thinking on the same lines that, this poor dog, and he was only a pup, apparently. Like he wasn't very old. But they couldn't stop him from eating socks. And, like Stacy's going, well, you need to have some boundaries for this dog or the people who are leaving socks on the floor. Like the dog should not, have the option of getting them. And, that's not a good thing because, I mean, it's going to get into his intestinal tract. And she was saying, well, the other socks that he ate, they just kind of passed through him. Well, once he started throwing up like he was when she was talking yesterday, it's like, okay, that sock is now blocking something and it's probably gotten tangled up in his intestinal tract. He needs a vet. Yeah. So hopefully the woman took him to that. Well, that one came out a little better than the other one. And I'm just leaving the little strings there because I don't know what to do with them yet. I don't know whether to add something to them or maybe just leave them, but there's 2 little books. This one's a little crooked because this was the very first one, but it's small. Let's see, where's my ruler's back over here because we were having to work on the couch for so long that half my supplies are over there. So this one is 3.5 by 2. And it's cute, and it's got 15 pages in each signature. But one signature is down and one signature is one signature is right, like this one's. Well, no, it could be up a little bit more too. But the other one is down too far. I mean, it pulls up, but like I said, they're practice, so I'm just practicing. This one seemed to have come out great. So I don't know what's going to go in them. Have no idea. And then I've got these 2, oops, over here. one has like the flowers. Let's see if I can get that to come on. Let's focus. What is it that usually focuses stuff? Something dark, isn't it? Yeah, so that's that one. And then this one I just did with a plain, did it plain on the outside. There is a pattern on the opposite side of the plain paper. Can't remember which one it was though. I must have some somewhere here. Obviously not. This is not long enough, so we're going to have to find longer pieces again, which really shouldn't be too big of an issue. I thought I had 5 of these sitting here. I can only find 4. So maybe the cat's finished one for me. Who knows? Where did I put that? There. Let's see what have I got over here. This one to me is like Christmas on this side. And then this side, the writing is going the wrong way. I don't want to use that. I have tons and tons and tons of paper. Just need it to be the right width. This one's pretty. This one's pretty. That would go with that. And that would go with that too. And on the other side is just a dark brown, so maybe that could go inside that one. Maybe we're gonna add some color in there. I don't know. But this is long, almost 5 inches. Those over there. Oh yeah. My son's cat, when I was a seamstress, and I had Dallas and Jocko too, but they knew not to go near my sewing machine because they'd been spritzed with a bottle so many times that they knew it was out of bounds. And my son's cat had to have gotten into my room in the middle of the night, and she never usually came into my room, so it was kind of a surprise. But the next day, my son, she was throwing up a lot, and I said to my son, something's not right. And he said, oh my God, there's a piece of thread hanging out of her mouth. And I went, what? And he says, yeah, I can see. So he went to start pulling the thread, and he's pulling it, and then it stopped and it wouldn't come out anymore. And she just kept throwing up and heaving. And I said, let's get her to the vet now. We got her to the vet. And what she had done is, because I had a sewing machine set up, I had a serger set up because I was sewing for 3 children's stores in Sydney, BC. And she had gotten a piece of thread from the sewing machine. We don't know if it was from the top spool or from the bobbin, but she picked up just one thread and she started swallowing, and she just kept swallowing and swallowing and swallowing. And when the vet did an x-ray, there was so much of it and it was so tangled up in there. And the vet said she has to stay here. And they cut off the thread that Stephen had pulled. They cut it off, and then they started dosing her with medication to oh, what do you call it now? Basically to give her diarrhea, I guess, just to like a laxative. That's the word I was trying to think of. And so they were giving her that. And, you know, first couple days did nothing. And she was in there for 5 or 6 days. And my son would sit with her every day. Like he would go to school. Before he went to school in the morning, he would go sit with her and make sure she was okay. And as soon as he got out of school, he'd go sit with her. And he'd just stay with her and talk with her. And, you know, because this cat was so close to my son that when he was dating any woman who tried to sit next to my son, the cat would hiss at them and they'd kind of move over, and the cat would get in between the woman and my son and would not let them near him. It was really strange. It was like he was hers and nobody else was getting in there as far as she was concerned. She was his and his alone. And yeah, she was she was a Russian blue gray cat. Oh God, she was pretty. And he said he didn't, you know, he was worried about leaving home because he would be leaving all the animals, and they were only moving a few blocks away. And I was like, well, you can still come and visit. And he goes, yeah, but a house just isn't a home without pets, right? And the place they were moving into belonged to friends of ours, and it was a little house. So they said, yeah, it was fine for him to have a cat. So I went and got him a cat, and she was the cat that I got him. And she was only just 8 weeks old when he got her. And of course, he was a boy. He was into cars. So he called her Cuda after the Barracuda, you know. But yeah, but she was a beauty too. And she was another big cat. Like she grew, you know, she was big like Nico or not Nico, like Dallas and Jocko were. She was a big cat like them. And Nico is the smallest cat I've ever had. He's 11 years old, and he maybe weighs 10 or 12 pounds. Like, he's not very big. He's always been small. Hi, Spanky's Crafty Corner, who peeks in. Nice to see you. How's everything going? Are you getting ready for your auction? Oops. Which is the top? That's the top. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen when you peeked in there to start with. I'm doing my best. Oh, yours is in July. It must be, no, it's Emily that's next with the auction. That's right. Yeah. Glue. And I forgot the vinegar and water. Yeah, you go get some for me. Yeah, I finally have a little bit of room here from the cats. They have not wanted to. I'm finally able to sit up long enough today to do something. I sat up the other day and did the outside covers of some little different sized little journals. And I couldn't even sit up long enough to do the inside covers. So I've done the inside covers today and sewn in signatures. This is my very first ever journal. So this one is not perfect by any means. Like one signature is up higher than the other signature for some reason. And then this one I've done, it seems to have turned out a little bit better. So like I said, these are my practice journals. So I'm just practicing because I want to do one of the golden books. I want to do Alice in Wonderland. And I have been, while I've been sick, I've been downloading images and saving them and cutting them and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure, you know, like once they're decorated, I don't even know what I'm going to do in these. I haven't got a clue. This one I kept thinking, oh, I should make it a little floral journal with different florals on each page or something. And I thought, nah, I don't know. We'll see. It's funny when you get something pre-made before you even know what you're going to do with it. But that's how I've had to work in the last month has been hell with my health issues. It's just been unbelievable. I mean, they even put me back on prednisone. Thanks, Spanky. It's cute because it's little, I think, because it's only 3.5 by 2. And but I like the paper. It's from my old scrapbooking days. Don't even remember what company it was from. My cats are, this cat, my black one is sitting here because it is now 2:45 and he is just sitting here staring at me. He's not even blinking. He's just staring because 3 o'clock is dinner time. And this is usually what he does. Usually he starts a little earlier, but I guess because I'm at the table, he's behaving himself and not causing too much problems. But yeah, he's giving me a very subtle, not so subtle actually, reminder that he wants food. I used to have him on a schedule of 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock at night. Then I started going over to visit my stepdaughter in Vancouver, and the guy that was looking after them, he was feeding them at 5:30 in the morning when he went to work, and then he was feeding them at 3 o'clock when he came home from work. Now they won't let that 3 o'clock in the afternoon thing go because they hear him come home from work, and it's like, it's dinner time. Tim's home. So I was like, oh my God, what have I done? Created monsters. But yeah, they have decided, because they're the boss after all. Humans don't get to be the boss. It's like they say, dogs have masters and cats have maids, and that's pretty much the way it goes too, especially around here. Maids or servants is the other one I've heard, and I definitely am both of those for these guys. They tell me what and when needs to be done, and they're very good at communicating what they want. There. That away. Still staring. The other one's sound asleep on top of my cutter. Why can't you be more like Nico or like Fred? Nico, huh? Fred's sleeping. Yeah, Fred's having a nice nap. That's what you should be doing. Fred falls asleep anywhere. What's your problem? Well, and then there's this one. I want to. There's so many different ways of measuring for all this stuff. It's just, it's incredible, Okay, so we got 5, just about 5 inches here. Oops, hang on, Fred. Hang on, Fred. Okay, I don't want that. So 4 3/4. To me, this looks like the middle. Can't see. that. Need a different colored pen, I think. Well, I don't know. No, I don't know. Where is my throw in here? Oops, don't spill water. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm trying to do my best to figure out the easiest way of doing this. Okay, that's through. That's through. Oh, darn. Didn't want to go that far through. That's too big. Okay. Okay. I know for all of you guys that have probably done a gazillion of these, this is really boring for you. But the only way I'm going to figure, oh no, that does not look right there. What's going on here? That does not look right. What did I do? That should be there. Darn it. Oh, dear. No, it looks better. Oh, it's better. Okay. I think I'll get this one stitched in, at least the first one anyway. And then I'll have to go because now he's sitting by the food dish. Yeah, YouTube's been doing some really weird stuff lately, hasn't it? I don't know why, but I had to go back to the list where I have everybody that I'm subscribed to, and I had to go to every single one to make sure that the bell was rung, because I always ring the bell, but I wasn't getting any notifications that anybody was doing anything. And I thought, well, something's not right here. So I went back through, and sure enough, every one of the bells had been unrung. So I had to go back through and ring you all up again. Come on. I don't know why they would do that. You know, the main objective is to, I don't want to go all the way, is to subscribe and ring the bell so that you are notified of people when they do go live and stuff. Oh yeah, they seem to be working on so much, you know, like that thing with people who stream with their phones. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, why can't they? I mean, not everybody can afford a webcam. Hardly anybody can. I mean, it took me a long time to get a webcam, and I just think that's silly. You know, why would you do something like that to, you know, and especially people who have got, you know, a fair amount of subscribers on their channels, and all of a sudden they're kind of being punished in a sense because of how they video. You know, I just don't think it's right. Well, your stomach's giving you the, or is it the fact that Nico's over there and you think it's coming right away? Okay, so you're not quite, well, you're okay. You're okay, I guess. Come on. There. Don't need that anymore. That's going to be okay. So I've got the back one in. That's pretty cute. And I'll have to do these other ones later because I'm going to have to go to feed the troops here. They are getting really antsy now. Nico is now sitting by his dish. waiting and staring. It was nice to see everybody that came in. I really appreciate it that you did. I know I gave such short notice. I'm sorry that's happened a couple times now, but with this vertigo, if I can manage to sit myself up and stay sitting up for a little while, it's like today it was like, okay, I feel good. I did my dishes. Don't feel real dizzy or anything. I think I'm just going to go live. So I did. So anyway, thank you so much for coming in and being part of this one. And I appreciate all of you for coming in. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and click the bell. And then you can get notified when I do the next one. And me too, Spanky. Yeah. And don't forget that creative clutter is way better than idle neatness. And let me tell you, last month I have learned that so well, because my table's been in a creative clutter, but my idle neatness has driven me out of my mind because I haven't been able to get up to do anything here. Couldn't even sit at the table. So I'm feeling better today that I can at least sit at the table. So maybe I'll be able to get back at this. So all of you have a great day, evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks for coming. Bye.